Hey everybody, welcome to Olympic Minds, Leadership Beyond Limits. I'm your host, Sherry Winn, two-time Olympian, national championship basketball coach, and CEO of the Winning Leadership Company. So today, we're really visiting with those people who want to become the leader of leaders, the visionary of visionaries, the people who want to move beyond success into significance, and for those people who don't want to just handle mediocrity, but want to live in mastery. So this is for the people who are beyond the idea of theory. They want to step into things that are heart-proven, grit-tested, and results-driven. Today we have a wonderful guest, my friend Anitha. And I say that because when I interviewed her for my book over a year ago, there was only a couple of seconds before I go, oh my gosh, I love this woman. Her energy, her authenticity, her wisdom. This is what I remember, like from that conversation. I wanted to step into her energy and never leave it. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about herself. And I guarantee you're going to love this conversation that we're going to offer you today.
Hey Sherry, a big thank you for having me on this podcast and a warm hello to everyone that's listening in. Just to introduce myself, I am so fortunate to have met Sherry, as she mentioned. As far as I'm concerned, I'm an HR practitioner and a coach. I specialize in executive coaching. I've grown up from the grassroots, I would like to say it, that I started off as an individual contributor, been in the industry for over 30 years now across different kind of organizations, learned it one step at a time. And as we speak today, I'm the HR director for the region of Asia Pacific with a multinational organization called CAE. We are into training of pilots, we are into simulation and modeling, and we are the market leader in this space. Thank you for having me here, Sherry. I'm so looking forward to this conversation and sharing and learning from you as well.
Well, you just mentioned that you're, a coach. And so tell me from your coaching experience, and I know you've had like 30 years of self-discovery first, and then discovering how to help those people around you. Like you're really in the arena of support and moving people to become their best version of themselves. What's the number one challenge that you find when you're coaching people? I mean, is there a reoccurring theme? Is there something that stands out in your mind that you have to, that you want to delve into, that you want to help bring that person out of it? What's that number one thing that you find is repetitive?
So you're taking me into my favorite space. Thanks for that. And as a coach, between us, you know that all the real work happens below the waterline of the iceberg, right? Like we say, it's not about behaviors, it's not about results, it's not about how people show up and want to be. It's more about what's below the waterline, as in the values, the beliefs, the assumptions they make, and primarily the blind spots. And when you want to crack open that shell, depending on how thick it is, it's really all about the space that allows for vulnerability. And this has been a consistent observation for me. I think that's a true game changer, which people or even groups, the more you set up the context and provide that space, the psychological safety and the comfort for people feel okay with vulnerability. I think that's the starting point, and that's when coaching really starts to work.
Right, I agree with you. Vulnerability is a huge starting point, because then people can get authentic, and then they can really discover what is below that surface. As you talked about the iceberg, it's below what our conscious minds are aware of. It's really get into that depth. So you said we have to, provide that psychological safety. So what does that look like? When you said, for people to become vulnerable, they have to feel safe. And if we're going to get to the root cause of something, of anything, of what their feelings are, their belief systems are, we have to get to that safety. So how do you provide that? How do you create a place where they feel safe?
Wow, that's a big one. So this is something I learned over the past 10 years that I've been a coach and working with different nationalities, different personalities, and different situations and niche. My way of being able to provide psychological safety is anchored in empathy, brick-walled with trust and confidentiality, reassuring the person in front of me that I'm here just like a mirror or like a window. And that's a nice way of, putting the role of a coach. And this is Marshall Goldsmith that I read about just this morning. Talks about, I don't exist in this conversation. It's about you. It's for you. And you are going to find what you need to find. And I'm just an instrument right here. So becoming invisible, which is quite a contrast to what we believe as coaching presence, is really what opens up the space for people, because then they're kind of opening up to finding themselves. Finding their blind spots is all about looking in the corners where the cobwebs lie, and they haven't shone a torch in a very long time. So kind of working with them to really forget my presence.
Right.
And work with their own world, with their own mind, with their own worldview is basically where you get to that space of vulnerability. And I think it really requires a deep level of trust, reassurance, and faith that it's just you and whatever is between us is all for your benefit. And I am not in this for me. I don't exist. I think in a nutshell, that's basically what helps, because the moment they feel cautious or even 1% less trusting, they will close. They'll go back into the shell. And that's not conducive to help them to get where they need to get.
So the word that you just used and the way you described this, I think this is very essential, is that you said you need to become invisible, which to me means is that you put your ego aside. Like you're no longer in your ego. And I think that's a big challenge for most people, is to not live in their ego, right? Because that means is that you have to have mastered the level of self-validation. So you're not in a needy space at all. So tell me about that journey, because I think for most people who want to do well as a leader, they have to understand, like, it's not about them. And everything's about them. So everything is about getting them into the space where it's not about them, right? And that's the huge journey of how do you get to the place of letting go of the ego into that total self-validation where you don't need anything from anybody. You're so in the womb of knowledge that you are loved and that you are worthy, that you don't need it from anybody else. So you don't need to be important in the conversation. You can be invisible. So tell us about that journey and how you got there.
Wow, that's a summary of my life. In a way, what a deep question. And that really kind of feels very heartwarming. Thanks for bringing that up, Sherry. So like all leaders, I started off being completely committed to results. I was passionate. I was fanatic about results. I was blindly invested into excellence, into image, into branding and shining, right? I've always been a topper through my academic years because I was told I had no other business in life than to top. And that probably in my formative years shaped my focus as to what recognition meant in life was to just be number one, because I was always told nobody remembers number two, right?
Wow.
Ouch, right?
Yes.
For good and bad reasons. So when I became a leader, it was all about driving, achieving results, proving to the world, being the outstanding performer, and looking for a lot of validation. However, as you start to grow and expand and mature and, go up the ladder of leadership, if you will, again, if you go back to Ram Charan and the others, what gets you to one level never takes you further than that point, because it takes an entire different ball game to be successful at different levels of leadership. And of course, life happens in parallel. So professional, personal life, a lot of, aspirations, chasing dreams, chasing validation, obviously coupled with disappointments, anxiety, frustration when you don't get what you need to get. So as life would support me in my journey as a person, I discovered spirituality. Again, coming from where I do, that's India, I had no dearth for it. And my journey of letting go of the need for external validation actually spanned through personal and professional life. I got married, I had a kid, and as you can imagine, there can be many points of disappointment. And then professionally as well.
I love it. You said there could be many points of disappointment.
Yeah, that's it. It's full, right? It's like abundant.
It's the journey. It's the journey. I mean, it's the life journey, right? I mean, to pretend like it's not, we're just lying to ourselves. So it's life journey.
Yeah. And younger me going through those points felt like I was sinking. I was like, wow, what happened to that topper, right? I'm facing disappointments, and I started to doubt myself. I started to kind of feel frustrated, feel why me, even at the professional side of life, if I didn't get what I wanted, or if I wasn't accepted for what I thought I was brilliant at, it started to feel like rejection, to be very honest, right? And that hurt big time, because in my formative years, I was surrounded with medals and trophies.
I understand that. You're speaking my language. Medals, trophies, yes.
Here I am facing, something that I don't like, and it started to hit me hard. It started to feel like I was getting punched in my face on many occasions.
Right.
And this is when spirituality helped me, because end of the day, it was all about, do I look at it as setback? Do I look at it as something that makes me feel less than who I am? Or is this the challenge to take me to the next level of my game? Younger me used to play a game with my kid called Mario. And then this little guy keeps jumping hurdles, and every time he beats it, he goes one level higher. And then I started to learn how to reframe, how to change perspectives, and how to actually look at the learning from whatever I was facing. And this is how I actually developed my growth mindset, which was kind of non-existent for the first maybe 20 years of my life, because I didn't need it. And then I said, okay, let's play this game with resilience, with getting comfortable with discomfort, with letting go of validation, because growth mindset is all about looking at failure as learning points and taking you to the next step of your game. And I think that was truly a game changer for me. And then, of course, when I became a coach, again, I found my old me looking at coaching for results. I was like, hey, my client needs to get the results, and I've done it all my life. I know how to do this. And then I had to consciously train myself and, step back and learn to start fading away on that journey of becoming invisible. And then I said, this is just a taste of just the trailer, right? And then I went into a next level of certification, the ICF credential, as you know. I said, I want to learn transformational coaching. Let me start going deeper than the waterline. And of course, 10 years, I found purpose in my life. And as you rightly mentioned, I'm now on my journey to accomplish my mastery level of coaching, my MCC. And I think that has been humbling, and that has truly been something that helped me to disappear. Let go of validation. I am much more than what anybody can tell me what I am, because I know that I am an instrument of service. Right. That's the real me, and that kind of started to peel away the layers of ego.
Right.
And without the ego, I started seeing the real me, which need not be visible to anybody else. And I'm enough, and I'm more than enough, and I'm happy, and I'm like, service is my purpose. Yeah. And that comes with humility.
Well, there's so many great points in everything you said. I can't even dissect it all, but I think the journey is really, learning about ourselves and learning who we truly are, and then attaching ourselves to that definition. For me, the definition is, I came from love, therefore I am love. So that's the highest emotion. It's the highest one that you can ever get to, is living that truth. Now, we're not taught that truth. We're taught the truth that you have to earn, whatever we want. We have to earn respect. We have to earn love. We have to earn, all this stuff. And not much like you. Like I sought out validation through, if I can just get this, like for me it was athletics. So if I can just become, All-American, then I'll be somebody. Okay, that didn't work. If I can just become an Olympian, then I'll be somebody. That did not work. Or if I can just do it again, then truly I'll be somebody. Did not work. If I can then become, a national championship coach, then it'll work. Didn't work. So after a while, I was like, wait a second, no matter what I do, I still feel crappy. I still feel bad. And that's where the journey is, wait a second, I've achieved all these things, and it didn't change the inside of me. It did not result in, what we think it's going to bring, because it's so short-lived. I mean, it's the moment of ecstasy. Wow, I did it. And then it's like the bottom drops out. And so what is it that brings that true level of happiness, the true level of joy, that true level of optimism? It can't come from without. It's got to come from within. And then reaching that enables us to be in a different space. I think we can truly feel for others. Like before that, it's still us, and when you can get to the level of that person and not taking on their pain, that's not our job. It's not to take it on. There's no matter how sick we can get, it's not going to heal somebody else's pain, right? Never. That's just not going to work. It doesn't matter how poor we are, we're not going to heal somebody else's poverty. So we have to maintain that distance and the level while still being that true level of empathy that you talked about, right? So you brought up the word spirituality. And I think some people run from that, right? As, oh, you're trying to make me feel X. Like I think they take it as religion, and you're trying to dump your belief system onto me. So tell us the difference between those two. Help people understand when you say you became spiritual, what that means to you. And in coaching, can you be spiritual without throwing people into like, this is what you need to believe kind of thing, because this is my belief, this is what you need to believe. So what does that mean? Because I think people are so confused around spirituality, and it's what I gravitated to after many years. What is this idea of spirituality? So tell us what that means to you, and then how do you, without throwing your belief system into somebody else, like your philosophy of life into somebody else, how do you share that in such a way that it feels transformative and not a burden? Like it feels like a choice rather than a chore. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to get to what I feel is, I feel like every day when I speak for spirituality, right? But I'm not bringing that and saying to somebody else, this is your answer. Here's what I found peace in, kind of like that. So tell us a little bit about, what does spirituality mean, and then how can you use that in your coaching?
Thank you. A big thank you for asking me that. So I started off with religion, right? And as a young kid, I was raised with religion, and I understood that religion was a way of life. Every religion is a way of life. The do's, the don'ts, the expectations, the guardrails, if you will. And then as life went by, I graduated or evolved very organically into spirituality. So today when I look back, the way I'd like to find the distinction between the two would be, religion is a way of life, and for me, spirituality is a way of being and living that life. Because I know that it's quite a scary word, or it's like a taboo when you say spirituality. Some people think of it as meditating, going away into the mountains, or whatever you can think of, right? But for me, through all the learning that I've had, and I've been fortunate to be blessed with this to date, is spirituality is really getting to the essence of who you are and looking at the same essence in everybody around you. Mm-hmm. Everything else is layers, right? The appearance, the expectations, what people want to portray. All of this is something you accumulate through your journey of life from your start to your finish. Who you are, we're all the same. That's what I mean by the essence, the real light inside each of us, because everything else is conditioning. It's really who we are born as. And there's no difference among any of us when we are born. And I'm convinced they will not be when we are gone as well. Everything else is baggage in this world. I don't want to get too deep into it, but this helps me in coaching, because when I sit there, I'm looking at that light in the person. I'm not looking at the story. I'm not looking at the baggage. And this is what I need them to kind of unpack sometimes and really find their potential, their resourcefulness, and the brilliance in what they carry inside of themselves.
Right.
Oh, if that answered.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. Because I love that you said it's a way of being, right? It's really tapping into a greater depth of ourselves, and not viewing people as whatever we like to judge them as, right? It's just really getting where, if we can be in the space of not judging somebody else. And so recently, I've noticed how judgmental I am, right? So recently, I'm like, I see somebody, my first words are, let me see their light. Let me see their love. Let me see the truth of their being. So getting rid of, I really want to see the truth of their being. I don't want to see, what color they are, or what weight they are, or how tall they are, or what. I just want to see the truth of that. And I think that if we can get beyond all those things that we like to label, like we're such labelers in this world, right? And that stops us from really connecting, to finding the connection that we seek in people. And I think that goes back to your psychological safety is, when you're in this space of connecting and not judgment, when you can get in that space and you really live there, people feel it. I mean, they feel that, right? It's just not even words that you have to say. It's just more of the energy that you're emitting to people, and they can feel your energy.
Absolutely. And you summarize it so well, because this is fundamental to practice unconditional positive regard. Anyone that you're interacting with. Because when you let go of all those appearances, and there's nothing left to judge, and we all work in progress. I try this every morning. I mind myself. I try to live it. And I'm growing one day at a time. I'm not sure whether there will be a day when we become judgment-free, but I guess that's the muscle we all have to grow, to have those genuine connections that are impactful and beautiful.
Yeah, we're talking before we started this about forgiveness. And it's one of the, forgiveness and love are the same thing, right? To me, they're exactly the same thing. We're taught early on to judge ourselves deeply, and then to beat ourselves up. So the first level is let me judge myself. The next level is let me beat myself up. And then how long can I beat myself up is that thing. So we will drag past experiences from 30, 40 years ago back into the current, and let's beat myself up over those again. Let me feel guilty about it again. Well, guilt and shame are the furthest you could get from love, right? They are not promoting the healing that we're looking for. They're not promoting that self-love. And so, it's very challenging, because we've been conditioned in our brains that if we beat ourselves up long enough, we'll get better. Extremely challenging. So retraining our brains, right, is one of the things that if you want to feel a greater peace, this is the way I feel. If you want to feel greater peace, you have to retrain your old thinking to get to a new level of space where you can really live in your brilliance. So tell me about how you go about retraining, that brain. Because I was telling you about how I was beating myself up, and I was like, okay, I've got to do this level of forgiveness again, this level of self-love again. Here we go, another lesson. Instead of beating myself up, how can you find love in this? How can you find peace in this? How can you move beyond this? So how do you train your brain so that you get to those levels, again, where you can be in front of somebody else and you're in a space that your energy is so beautiful, they want to be in the energy.
That's a lot of work. as logical and simple as it may seem, oh boy, that's something of a bungee jump into life, into the real core of life. Well, Brené Brown has been my long-term favorite. And as you know, Sherry, she talks a lot about guilt and shame and, how do you really step into self-love? And there have been a lot of authors and inspirational women that I've been reading over the past many years and trying to understand what exactly are they trying to say. And this spans into even understanding about how do these emotions and the way we treat ourselves end up in our physiology and sometimes really make us sick. And, this is self-inflicting, right? This is like masochistic in a word. And that was my rude awakening. Like I mentioned, I was going through a lot of that my early years after I got married, and then as I started to grow as a leader as well. And this is bound to be, right? And then as I started to face each one of those, there was a lot of beating myself up, as you said, because that was what I was capable of doing. Shame on me, right?
Well, there's a forgiveness part right there, is that you realize that's all you knew. And so if it's all you knew, you couldn't have done better. There's no possibility of doing better when you don't know any other way.
Yes, absolutely. And that really led me into learning a lot about neuroscience when we talk about unlearning, rewiring your brain and all of that. A bit into neuro-linguistic programming as NLP, as you know, which really equips you with certain tools and techniques that help you and support you to do that. I went into a lot of other parallel practices, and everything helped me in many different ways, be it meditation, be it yoga, be it, breath work, which is like the most subtle level of what you can control. If you can invest into that as opposed to beating yourself up, you probably do yourself a better favor than any of, what we try to do. But what was a game changer for me along the way was getting very deep into emotional intelligence. And that served me tremendously as a leader, as a human being, as a coach in every aspect of life. And I was fortunate enough to actually draw opportunities to teach, train, and coach people on emotional intelligence over the past 6 to 7 years. Been working with individuals and groups, and it's not just gratifying, but it's an ongoing learning for me as well. Like they say, you learn best when you teach it to someone.
Absolutely, because it's in your front of your mind all the time. Same thing I find out is that, anytime that you're standing as a teacher, you're also a student. If you allow yourself to be that student, if you're looking for the opportunity to learn and to grow, because a teacher and the student are the same, right? They are one. And so I'm not at a level above and beyond anybody else that I coach at all. I'm standing in there and they might say something, I'm like, oh, wow. Or they're a mirror. Oftentimes they're a mirror reflecting back to me, like what I need to change. I'm like, oh, you're hitting me so hard with these lessons today. I don't say that to them, but I'm really knowing like this is the same. We are in the same space. And I love that you said, Anitha, that it's really a process. It's not an easy button. It's not something you walk into one day. And what I found for my journey is I first had to get to the place to believe that these things were true. And so what I mean is like I had to read enough books, I had to listen to enough people to understand like that we are programmed, that our brain is programmed early on, that we don't even understand the programming, that literally our neural networks are formed at a very early age, and it becomes a blueprint of the way that we see the world. And then I had to start understanding the way that my blueprint came along, like what my parents gave me. And they never intended, like they're good people, right? They just didn't intend to give me these kind of blueprints. They didn't know that they had them. They hadn't examined their world. They didn't know that these beliefs were being passed on. And so then I took those and I ran with them forever. They were there for decades until I started unraveling them. And not angry. I was never angry at my parents for the things they had taught me because they didn't know better, right? I mean, you can only live from what you know. And it's the same way that I've come to my level of forgiveness in me is going, wow, I did that. And it's really because it was a program that was in me that I did not know about, that I did not understand. So it's like all this learning, like you have to get the background learning in. You talked a lot about reading and listening to Brene Brown and some other people. You have to get the background learning in to open up the possibilities that there's a different way of thinking. Like if you can't get the background of that, if you can't get that depth of information in, then I think it's really hard to open up a possibility, right? It's hard to get to that level. When I talked to a recent client of mine, and she had some challenges in relationships, and then she had decided in her third relationship where she'd been abandoned and betrayed, she decided that she wanted to have a child of her own so that she could, she thought that this was going to bring her the depth of love and all those things that she was looking for. And she carried the child for 25 weeks before miscarried. And so she's in a deep level of grief. And so I was talking to her and I said, what would it take to let this go? And she goes, well, I can't. And I said, well, what do you mean you can't? She goes, well, what would people think about me if I let it go? And I was like, so to me that meant, look, her level of training was such that she couldn't even start to believe that letting go of grief was a positive thing for herself and the people around her too, right? Because she'd been trained into believing that she had to carry this for a certain amount of time and let everybody see it, let everybody else feel it until, she could get over it. Whatever that date was in her head, like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. But to me, that was a training that was so, one of the things I just said, I said to her, I said, well, how do you love other people? Yes. What are you giving to them right now? It's like, well, nothing. Okay. What are you giving to yourself right now? Well, nothing. I have to do this. Okay. So that's the level of when I say, we have those beliefs that are so ingrained in us, but we don't know that it's okay to live a different way. Like you have to get into another space, don't you? Like you have to be in another space. You have to be in a different belief system that allows you to believe that you can be somebody different. And so you did that by reading all the books, and really, I know that you're still reading, you're still listening, you're still evolving. So for the people out there, like if you were to say to them, what's the first thing you should do? Like if you want to change into becoming this other person where you're going to feel greater joy, right? You're going to feel like you're steeped in love more. You're going to be in a place where you can let go of self-judgment and judgment of others. If you really want to be in this space, what would be the first step? Where would they start from?
Wow. Well, my favorite, like Simon Sinek says, is what's your big why? Why do you want to change yourself? If you're not convinced about it, don't waste your time. You're going nowhere, right? You can have the best of knowledge, the best of tools, the best of intentions, and there won't be an iota of change. If you don't believe in your purpose, if you don't believe in that vision that you want for yourself, you're just going to try it maybe half-heartedly, like we come across in our coaching. At some point, you see people saying, I need to, I have to, I should, I could. Okay, come back to me another day. Right? You don't mean business. That's it. Basically, I want to is very different energy than any one of those. And when would you want to is when you're really, really drawn by that dream. You're really having that fire in your belly to have attained a better version of yourself. If that's not there, nothing can help you. Nobody can help you. Right?
Yes. I mean, I think it comes back to why we're really motivated. There's only two things that motivate us. Number one is pain. So we get deep enough pain that we're done with it. Like we just want out of it. And the other is that pleasure, like imagining the pleasure that we're going to have to get out of the pain. And so it's that double-edged sword. You have to have both of those, I think, at a deep enough level that you're sick and tired of the pain that you're in. You're just like, I cannot do this one more day. I'm sick and tired of it. And imagining the pleasure you're going to feel at the other end. So I developed chronic pain when I was 35. I couldn't sit, stand, or walk without pain. It was massive. I went to 17 different medical professionals, had every test known to mankind, and they're like, we don't know. I mean, that was the best they could give me. We don't know. So that took me to like alternative medicine, which became the journey, right? That became the journey of all the different things that I've been through, which led to the spirituality, which led to the things we're talking about today. And it was a long, like I was so trapped in believing that if I felt an emotion, I would die. I really believed that. I was so trapped in that. You can imagine how many times that my therapist would say, so how's this working out for you? And I would go, it's not, fix it.
Period.
And so it was that pain though. It was my physical pain that was also emotional pain, because you cannot really separate those from each other. That led me to say, look, I want to change. Like I really am tired of this. I want something better. And I think that's when we start searching. And the searching is the part, like it's the initial step, the searching of and the wanting, the deep desire that you mentioned. I think those are the two things. So Anitha, if there's something else that you could share today with folks who are listening that you believe would really like magnify their significance in this world, what would that be?
Blue ocean thinking. That's like the best approach to take in life. Look at your ultimate potential. That's really what's waiting for every one of us, every aspect of life. Basically, we kind of size ourselves down by limiting ourselves in many different ways. This could be societal expectations. This could be your own assumptions. This could be your ego, to your point earlier on, that what would people say about me? End of the day, it all boils down to emotional independence or people-pleasing behaviors and orientations. And this is very true even in the case of leadership. End of the day, what's driving you? What's your engine, right? Is it human-centered? Is it value-centered? Is it service-oriented? Is it wanting to leave a legacy behind? Now, all of this, is this the exterior or the interior, right? The moment you see yourself as unlimited, boundaryless, the possibilities are like, are intangible, right? There's a very nice quote I read and it stuck with me for a very long time now. It goes this way. It says, sky is the limit, but where's the sky?
Wow.
We are believed and raised to see that, okay, that level of space that looks blue is the sky. But there's no sky. The same applies for each one of us in terms of what we can achieve, what we can manifest, what we can grow into and attain. What really matters is, what are you setting as your limit?
Wow. Wow, I love that. I'm gonna have to re-listen to this and listen to that again and again. This was so beautiful. This is exactly the kind of conversation that I wanted to share with people. I want them to know there's a different level of leadership out there. There's a different way of thinking out there. And so you're really promoting that and helping people see it, to help them start on their journey, or if they're on their journey, to believe that there's other space, there's another level, there's always another level to it. And to help them feel that there's what's the possibility like. So Anitha, if somebody had a question for you, like they're like, wow, this is crazy, how would they reach you?
Very interesting. I haven't thought about this, but the best way to reach me is probably on my Instagram. That'll be the fastest way. You can find me at The Cogent Coach. I am primarily there to help. Basically, I want to serve society. I want to help young people, young leaders, anyone that want to have a conversation with me. I'm available. I'm just a message away.
So beautiful. I mean, you're just such a beautiful soul. I'm happy that, that I've been able to just take a small essence of your energy and feel that. This is a great way for me to start my day, is to feel that energy and to know, like, there's so many wonderful people out there like you, leaders out there like you, who are promoting something different, not just like, you're not going to end your productivity. You're not going to end your ability to make money. You're not going to end whatever by being this way. You're just really getting to the point of true happiness, which is not outside of you, it's within you, right? That's what we're talking about. So everybody, hey, thank you today for joining us here. Please share this with other folks. Let them know that there is a way to lead that fulfills both you and other people around you. So thank you again. What a wonderful, wonderful day. I appreciate you.